Hello.
Hello.
I'm just trying to get this to
You
be a
you
high.
missed out on some talk about when I was a ring bearer, ring girl, ring bearer.
Yeah, girl.
Had a little bow on top. My friend Hannah was like, "Did you hide the ring in your beard?" And I went, "Ta-da!" Which I should have done.
That's a good idea.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good today. It's sunny outside. I took a shower. you know, I ate a
Always
little.
feels like you should get an applause for that alone. I
I
took a shower.
took a shower today, and so things aren't the worst.
I had just getting started. I'm a stay up late, rise late kind of person.
Yeah.
But I had a video chat the other day where I put in beard oil, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand how important this is. I put in beard oil for this meeting, and they're like, what? Okay, and I was like, I haven't done that in like 5 weeks, so
What does beard oil do? Does it make your beard softer?
it makes it softer, conditions it a little bit. But I should be doing it anyway because it kind of dries out if not. So
Mm-hmm.
I should be doing that, but there's a lot of things we should be doing right now. And
But it's also okay to not do those things,
yeah,
like this is a heavy time. And a good friend that I was talking to on we're friends in person slash the internet. But anyway, she was telling me, like right now we're all kind of grieving and trying to re-navigate our lives, and we shouldn't be so hard on ourselves for not doing things.
it's weird. Like this past weekend, man, we're hopping right into it. We'll circle back around to
Have
what you
to.
do and everything. But this I feel weird saying this past weekend was tough, but it was just weird seeing because I'm down here, where everybody was on the lake, big groups of people. Somebody posts one of the news stations went down to Gatlinburg, and that strip was just full of cars and people. And I was like, what the? And somebody tweeted and said, of course, Americans would be tired of something and determine it was over. And I was like, that's pretty accurate and funny. So it's weird seeing all that. Like it's all just back to normal
It's
when it
pretty.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think it's just disappointing because that's why we have the highest,
Yeah.
you know, number of cases because of how little we care about like people outside of ourselves. And that's like a generalized we, of course, but
Yeah. The royal we.
the
Yeah.
royal we.
Yeah. I had to watch. My sister was on here. My sister and I had to explain to my dad that people on Facebook aren't real because he posted up something like, aren't we all supposed to be wearing masks and staying 6 feet apart? He
Yeah,
posted that in a general Knoxville group. And
yeah.
one dude called him a Nazi,
Wow.
and one dude threatened to kick his ass. And I heard that and I started smiling. I was like, yeah, they're not real people because Dad, you're 6'4" and you're a former truck driver. They're never going to say that to your face. They're never going to say, not to be
Right.
tough or whatever, but I was like, they're not real people.
They have the
And
cushion.
I was over there yesterday seeing him and my mom and my sister, and I was just like, they're not real people, Dad. And he's like, well, yeah, I was like, they're not real people. Everything's fine. Don't pay any attention to them.
Right. Don't don't put any energy into like these hateful people who are also using the cushion of the internet, to
Keyboard warriors. That's what we
say
call them.
hateful things. Yeah.
Calling him a Nazi was the one where I was like, what the? Okay, cool. You're just an idiot. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't you tell the people what do you do for a living? What do you
Uh,
do to earn money?
well, I'm fortunate enough that I am an adjunct professor at Emporia State University in Emporia, Kansas, and of course we're just online. So,
Okay.
I have the privilege of like continuing to get paid and teach from home. But with that being said, teaching from home is not, I mean, I don't work well at home. I've like
Yeah.
never, I'm an overly extroverted person and I'm not good at being alone so frequently. I have my partner and our roommate, and that's been great, but I need more people. I'm teaching art in person, and my students in printmaking really are miserable. They miss making prints, and I don't really, and I just feel like stressed out and like it's my fault, even though I know it's not, and like I'm aware of that. But I just want, I want them to have the studio that they want and get to use all the
Yeah.
equipment, teach them all the different tricks that I know, and so that's been hard to navigate.
Did your school uh, jump on early to we need
We
to be from home?
we had we had ended up being on we had ended up being on spring break, and then our chair was like, we should all consider remote teaching because I think that's probably what's going to happen. And then we just extended spring break, which was like our week, to like
Okay.
figure out how we were going to
Yeah.
the classes because, yeah, like, art, especially like printmaking or ceramics or, um, yeah, other disciplines, they're not ones that are easy to teach at home
Right.
remotely. Students don't have resources in their homes or apartments or whatever. So that's been tough. Um, yeah.
Is most of your class younger students or people who would have graduated right about now?
I have, in my printmaking class, I have four seniors. So they all had exhibitions this semester, and half of them, well, one of them had their show earlier in the semester, so everyone was able to attend that. And then um, my second student, he was supposed to have it after spring break. So, yeah. But we all got to go to it. Like, it was installed. But we had to, like, social distance view it, and, it was more just close friends and family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Basically, you view it and then you leave,
yeah. Good
which is
Lord.
tough. And then I have two students who didn't get to have exhibitions at all. So that was tough. But luckily, Emporia is pretty amazing for like a really small like college town, and we have people who have created like a First Friday, and they actually like prioritize students. So when this all happened, I told my student who would have been the third exhibition, I think, to reach out to her name is Kayla Mock, to reach out to Kayla, and Kayla super fast found an alternative venue, but then that didn't end up working because we're still on social distancing and no spaces
Right.
are open. But I know that when spaces open again, that she'll have that opportunity still. And
Yeah.
yeah, just really grateful for people like Kayla who are creating resources and helping problem solve for students who are still graduating but didn't get to have the exhibition that they wanted. So,
Yeah. I think it's good that some people are choosing to have a little bit of grace and patience during these times.
yeah.
So how are you holding up during this? How are you are you remaining creative, or is it a struggle?
Well, I have a few factors I think that already existed.
Oh,
And
okay.
that, and when we were at Pentaculum, I was struggling to make things, but that was because I had like overwhelmed myself with too many things that winter. But I also had just graduated like the semester before that from West Virginia University with my MFA. So I was like recovering mentally,
Yeah.
uh, physically. And like from the trauma of grad school, even though I had a really good experience, I just like really worked myself way past my own limitations. And because of that, I was exhausted and miserable and high stress all the time. So then when I didn't have anything to be high stress about, it was like everything small was a
Yeah.
big deal. It would like spike and make me, yeah, just like really overreact to situations
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
weren't big deals. And that I wouldn't normally overreact to. So I'm still like, my body is still trying to adjust to like not having high stress situations. Um, so the last year that I've been, well, I haven't been here a full year, but the last like almost year that I've been in Emporia, I've been trying to be really kind to myself and just know that like I, I'm a maker who has like overloaded herself, and now I have to like re-navigate that and figure out how to make art again. And so the answer is not art wise. There are other things I do. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm a stereotype a little bit because of course like I'm baking and that's but my roommate's a big gardener and I've never gardened, but my mom did, and so now I'm starting to garden and learn about gardening. And I think what excites me about both of those things is that they're not things I normally did or had time to do. So I'm like learning new like things, and those things feel very creative. And
Yeah.
no, they're not like artworks. They're just like a way for me to put that creative energy that I don't have energy to put into making art. But I am a part of this art swap, this quarantine art swap thing
Okay.
that
What is that?
a person on Instagram invited all of us to, or well, she did an open call and I just asked to be a part of it. And basically you make a small piece every other week, and you mail it on like every other Wednesday to a person that's been like determined through a list. And then yeah, and then they send you their art. And so every week you have a different person that you're trading, or every 2 weeks you have a different person you're trading with. And so I
Nice.
got, yeah, so I made that last piece I had posted for the art swap
With the
of
hand?
the hand thinking about
Yeah.
pimples.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, I hope they like it.
Yeah. Wait, that's your own version of ta-da? Ta-da? I think
Because
ta-da.
I'm like, I am a person who like when I make art, I'm not making it to like appease people. I'm like trying to be thoughtful, and I'm still thinking of like my own concepts, like with
Right.
insecurity, dwelling, and obsession, and yeah, things like that. So I'm definitely not going to sacrifice that. I just don't feel excited when I do, when I
Yeah.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are probably getting pimples in the mail, and hopefully, hopefully they like it. I think they're kind of pretty. My drawings of them, that is.
Oh my God.
And they're
I
all,
did oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, they're all colored pencils, all I was going to
Oh.
say. I'm not doing any prints as of right now, but
I
um,
put out a call, I guess about a month ago, for postcards. I'd done this project a few years ago
oh,
called Year of Postcards, where I sent a different postcard every day of one complete year. And I actually physically went and did them. I didn't do 30 and dropped off 30. I did a postcard for every single day of the year. It's called Year of Postcards. And I would get friends who had kids and I would draw pictures for the kids.
raw.
I'd figure out what they liked and send them a
Mm-hmm,
postcard. Or if it was a person, I would just send them,
mm-hmm.
write them something. I ended up doing nonprofits for like a couple months where I just found a bunch of nonprofits I liked and just wrote them encouraging words and sent them postcards. So I kind of brought that back. I was like, anybody who wants a postcard, just let me know. And so I've been doodling and writing little notes and drawing pictures for kids, drawing BB-8 and R2-D2 for
Very,
kids. Yeah.
that's very
So
sweet.
I need to post that again tonight because I had one that I was really proud of where There are tiki mugs for the Golden Girls.
Okay.
One for each one. And a friend of mine, her and her husband have a speakeasy tiki bar in their house. And she's the one who kind of encouraged me to start this again. I was like, which one's your favorite? She's like, Sophia. So I drew the Sophia tiki mug and sent to her. And I've been sending them out like a batch every Friday. I can't send them out every day, but I'll send out a batch every Friday, a little stack, 5 to 10.
So do you make them every day? Like you make one postcard? No.
No, not this time. Before I did, when I did the year, every day I sat down and I did one postcard a day. And then I would physically drive it to the post office.
Are you doing digital ones or are you doing traditional?
Traditional.
Yeah.
I've got a box of, full of old postcards, weird postcards. I just ended up having a bunch of people donate postcards to me. I probably got 300 to 400 postcards left to still do that. Oh, I see my friend Hannah got hers. Yeah.
Do you, so you're making the imagery on the one side?
No,
Okay.
I'm taking old existing postcards.
I see.
And then drawing on the back of them.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So that's my version of the art swap is like I just sit there. I've got a little cutting board. So I'm sitting there watching TV, just doodling on my little cutting board.
I love mail. I think when it's not bills, it's nice to get mail.
Yeah.
About mail.
But yeah, I'm seeing all kinds of people kind of do their own something to kind of stay tethered or connected in these times. Have you worked on any passion projects at this point? Would you consider that art swap a passion project or yeah?
Yeah, because I've only done one, but I started the second one yesterday. And it's just helping me to like re-navigate how I make, because I was doing all those insecurity portraits and I'm excited to keep doing them, but because I did so many things for my MFA, I'm just really burnt out and I'm trying to be kind and understanding. And I also think it's important, like right now, a lot of people are saying like, we should be using this time for productivity and that we're wasting time if we're not doing that. And I don't agree with that. I think this is a good time.
Oh, I think you're cutting out on me.
Can you see me?
I think you cut out for a second.
Oh,
the last thing I heard was you didn't agree with the sentiment that this time should be used for productivity.
Yeah, because we work really hard every day of the year, and now we've been given an opportunity to just take a second and breathe. And I think, the sentiment of like we should be making the most out of this and like doing as much as possible is coming from not ever being able to like sit and breathe and relax and feeling guilty about sitting and breathing and relaxing. And that comes from existing in a extremely capitalist like society. And
what? No. Yeah.
Yes.
This is news to me. I didn't know this was a thing.
Yeah. So I think now is the best time to just be like, and I still feel guilty. I would be lying if I said there are days where I'm not like, you should have made art today or you should have done something today. And I just think it's just be kinder to yourself and let yourself, listen to your body. And if you don't feel like making, then you shouldn't make anything.
Yeah. I am going to throw a but in here.
Sure.
But during this time, are you taking time to reevaluate how you create?
Yeah.
Or why you create the way you create?
Yeah, for sure. I do feel like I'm always trying to be really reflective when I'm making art. The being gentle and kind to myself thing had to be said to me several times by a lot of really great people. Especially being someone who hasn't even been out of grad school for a year. Lots of people told me, it took them like 3+ years to recover from grad school. So I'm trying to keep all of that in mind and just,
Yeah.
and so the whole
Yeah.
thing is that I'm relearning how to make in a way that isn't self-inflicted, like
Yeah.
pain,
Yeah.
because when I was in grad school, I would sleep as little as possible, eat when I had time, and when I ate, eating really like bad foods. And so learning to cook has been a big thing, or like, yeah, actually like taking the time to cook and eat
Yeah.
3 meals a day. And I've been trying to, now's been a good time for me to cut back on coffee because in grad school, I created a really harsh addiction, and and it like
I don't
became,
know. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about.
it just got to the point where yeah, like I would drink espresso and I would still be exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that feels good to be like weaning off of it. Um, yeah, and then getting to draw again, like drawing that hand was so big, and I drew it in a day. And I feel like I haven't made anything in a day in a long time, and that
Nice.
felt really good.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm re-navigating all of life, and it's also like on top of quarantine, but also on top of being someone who's fresh out of grad school
Yeah.
and trying
Are
to
you?
teach,
Yeah.
you know.
Are you staying pretty positive, or you have any moments of dread?
Um, the first, I would say I don't know, what week are we in? Is it like 6,
Uh,
7?
these are all good questions. Uh, was it March? I think March 13th was the day it all the shit hit the fan. Because I think I've seen people post the last normal day we had was a Friday the 13th, but I remember that was the day everything kind of exploded. So I think it was March 13th. So shit,
Yeah.
that's 7 weeks, 8 weeks.
So I've been isolated since our spring break. I mean, I've gone to the grocery store because I have to, but like for the most part, I don't go anywhere. I went to the school for the first time like 2 days ago, maybe, or something like that. And anyway, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm in week 8 of not really being around a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah,
Or 7, something like that, 7 or 8. But the first like month was terrible. And I was trying to, because I'm an overly extroverted person, so that means I need people and I need to be around people as much as possible. And I've been reflecting on that, and I think it comes from like some self-hate, and so that's been hard to like. But I understand that, and I'm excited to acknowledge it. And it still feels terrible, but I also think this is an opportunity for me to be alone with myself and get used to myself
right.
and not so terrible when I'm alone by myself. And
Yeah, yeah,
uh, and then like the second or like the 2 weeks after that month, I think I had days that were really good and then days that were really terrible.
yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
some of that anxiety would come from like, I need to grade, I haven't graded, I should have graded, things like that. I should have cleaned the house, I should have taken a bath. Like, just not doing the things I need to do because I'm feeling like so like sad.
Okay, so I do a follow-up question. When you do those things, do you feel better afterwards?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll give you the theory. I think this comes from the military. I gotta get on the Googles and figure out if this comes from the military. But it's the theory of quick wins. It's like they
Yeah.
get up and they make their bed to get a win the first thing in the morning. So I think about that
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
in like when I wake up and I'd done dishes the night before, I was like, I'm going to put all these away. And the minute I pull them all away, you have an empty rack, and it's like, That feels awesome. Like, and
Yeah.
it just sets
Yes.
a different tone. Like, so I think about that a lot in these times where I can't just run, text a friend of mine and say, let's go grab a coffee, let's go grab a beer. Like, I
Hmm.
can't do that. So I find those little things that kind of help mentally.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, there's definitely a satisfaction in like doing something and then having it be clear, like creating a list and then highlighting all the things you've done
Oh, yeah.
feels
The,
um
the key is figuring out that balance to where you don't feel overwhelmed by that list. Of like
yeah,
some of the days I've woken up and said, I need to get this one thing done today. If I get that one thing done today, it's fine. Everything's going to be okay.
yes. I agree
So,
with that. I
so
think
are you in those 8 weeks? Are you remaining active? Are you getting outside? Because it has been really nice outside.
the first month I didn't. And I think it's just because like doing anything for myself. It was like easier if I have to like do something
Okay.
for my partner or my roommate, but it's harder if it's like just me.
Yeah.
So no. My roommate and I have been going on walks, and that feels really good.
I was I was going to say a buddy of mine and I have started every Friday. We go on a social distanced walk from with one another. He lives
That's
in a neighborhood to where there's not a lot of traffic, so we can go and I can walk in the street and he walks on the sidewalk, and we just talk over cars
I like
at one
that.
another. So that might be something for you if there's people in town that you can go on a social distance walk
I
from.
like that.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. I like that idea.
uh, okay. We'll move on to homework. Homework. Talking about rampant commercialism. Here's an
Yeah.
ad for Coca-Cola at the end of this. Uh, so for the homework, for anybody watching, this week's is if you search Coca-Cola, Fritz isn't from here, you'll find it. So had you seen this ad before? I
No,
didn't think so. So I
but
used to see this before movies in like the early 2000s. Like that's when
yeah,
this ad came out. Uh, it's just weird and quirky and nuts. And the thing about Genghis Khan coming to the future to grab a case of Coke, and then it was like and a corn dog. It's like what are you and a corn dog? What are you? It's so weird. It's
it
what
was
did
really.
you think of?
I thought it was really strange, but it also felt like a person made this. You know what I mean? Like not a company.
Yeah, like you
Like,
wouldn't know it
uh,
was an ad for Coca Cola. You
I
know,
also think
you
it
go.
it was interesting to see like all the. It was essentially like video collaging with minimal animation. It was like just stills.
And it was all like historic photos and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was like they
it,
took old national geographics and like cut pieces and collaged type and
yeah.
it
And
was
then
pretty
it,
bizarre.
and then it took that song. It made me find and buy that song. It's an Italian guy named Paolo Conti, and
Okay.
it's a weird song because it's all in Italian. It is Italian. And then all of a sudden he says chips, chips. And it's like, it fits perfectly because it's the most weird, like, I don't know what it is about. Like I said, I think I told you, I've got like a playlist on YouTube of just all this stuff that I just find very creative and weird. One of them's
Yeah,
even a baseball. It's an ad for Dick's Sporting Goods.
yeah,
Have you ever seen Moneyball?
yeah. Or like I'm aware of it.
Okay, so the guy who directed that directed this series of commercials, and it's the technical aspect of that. I'm talking about another homework, a future homework one, but it's a baseball game is happening and the camera's sitting, but it keeps zooming in, and you can hear like the shortstop talking, and you can't hear anybody else, and then it zooms back out and flips over to like the batter or the first base coach, and it's like how in the hell did they do this? Like it's just an interesting technical. I think about it as a commercial for a product 10th down the line, because I think about the creativeness and what it took to come up with this and how the hell they did this. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. And maybe I'm just a nerd to the whole commercial aspect of it all because it's what I work in. But
I mean,
this Fritz ad, I love this ad. I love it so much.
I liked it, and that's not something I'm normally watching. I also am not like watching a lot of like YouTube videos, and I have a lot of friends who do, and I just feel disconnect. You know, I like don't do that very much.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like watching, because I really like cartoons, and I know this is wild, but I listen to like people guessing like where the plot's gonna go, and like these conspiracy theories of like the little pieces of the show, and they're picking it apart. That's the thing I watch on YouTube.
Oh my God, the breakdown videos. Yeah.
Let's guess
anyway.
what's gonna.
So was this ad a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Did you like it or not like it?
I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was also smart. Like if they didn't have a lot of resources to do a video or like pay actors or had the technology for animation, that it was really simple and easy to do, and but still like interesting and funny and bizarre. And I think because it's bizarre, it's memorable. You know,
Yeah.
like that's a very smart decision on their part too.
Yeah.
And
this one actually, from the recommendation, the whole algorithm of YouTube led me to another commercial I'd never seen before from about that same time, talking about it showed it was almost like a NFL Films voiceover of a guy going into a gas station convenience store to get a Coke out of the fountain. And as he went back, he took his first sip and he looked around and he got a second sip and then took another sip and got a third. And it said something like, second sips are not felonies in the state of Missouri. And I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious. Like, that's hilarious to me. Like, it's taking it so, like, it's not a felony. We swear you can get a second sip of Coca-Cola. I was like, how the hell do you, yeah. I work in this industry and I'm even like, okay. That's amazing.
Well, just pitch in ideas, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's good to see you.
Good seeing you. Take it easy.
You too. Bye.